Hi, this is Brittany Olson, and I am covering the topic of the old California mining town, Bodie. I added in at the bottom here a popular saying throughout the West. Goodbye, God, I'm going to Bodie. I chose this topic to cover because the California Gold Rush was a huge topic in history class throughout grammar school and high school when I was growing up, and it's always piqued my interest. Not to mention, I used to live fairly close to Bodie, and we take many field trips to the now ghost town. I've always been fascinated by Bodie and remember being there like it was yesterday, so I decided to cover the history of this town, what life was like, and where it stands today. Bodie is located in the Bodie Hills east of the Sierra Nevada mountain range in Mono County, California, about 75 miles southeast of Lake Tahoe. And as the quote at the top states, it is the coldest spot in California much of the year. To give you some perspective, I lived in Mammoth Lakes growing up, and Bodie was just right here. Bodie was built in 1859 when William Bodie discovered gold. During its heyday, tens of thousands of dollars in ore was to be found. This was clearly a location that was going to bring a lot of wealth to a lot of people. Within a year, 12,000 people moved to Bodie, including at least 100 immigrants. It also attracted, quote, desperados and hooligans who forfeited themselves at some of the town's 65 saloons, unquote, according to Dennis of the Orange County Register. I also, along my slides, I had a lot of quotes I ended up liking, so I'm going to give it a couple seconds before I click over. Life in Bodie was filled with many choices of entertainment or joy, depending on the person. From shops to breweries, barbershops to an opera house, saloons and a rifle club, a gymnasium and a church, schoolhouse and several brothels. Just about anyone could find something to do during the day if they were not working in the mines. Bodie even had its own Chinatown that had gambling halls, bars, opium dens, and even a Taoist temple. Additionally, someone being killed every day was not uncommon. Bodie turned into a ghost town at the start of 1882 when it ran out of ore. In order to reach the remaining ore that was deep underground, much money was needed for the process that Bodie just did not have, resulting in prospectors leaving to other promised lands in hopes of easy riches. By 1892, a fire swept through the town, and a second in 1932 was started by a 2-year-old who destroyed 90% of this town. The last remaining residents of Bodie left in the early 1950s. And this is the gravesite of Waterman Bodie. A lot of people go to it in Bodie. There's a little quote about him. For an entire decade, Bodie became a victim to vandals and weather elements. In 1962, it was rescued and designated a state historic park. Bodie's survival is by no means ensured. The state and volunteer groups have been trying effortlessly to keep Bodie in the best condition possible. Due to Bodie's remote location, it has not yet been stripped clean like many of the other ghost towns in California. The nearest highway is 13 miles away, leaving the remaining 3 miles into the town on a dirt road. Even when the weather is nice, it is a mission to get to in a vehicle. Surprisingly, 200,000 visitors do make it to Bodie year-round. I attached a lot of pictures that go with some quotes I found. All right, and this is a side note. I would encourage every one of you to visit Bodie if you find yourself in the area or need a new place to visit. It's unlike anywhere you will see in the US. And where it may be a tad bit creepy to some, it is a remarkable sight to see. You can feel the history all around you. And even though most of it has been burned down, you must keep in mind this was the largest mining town during the gold rush, and there still are many buildings you can go to inside and even more so outside. It is, by the way, on the UN World Monument Watch list of 100 most endangered historic sites. You will not regret taking a trip to Bodie, and there are plenty of other amazing spots around it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm from here. You've got Mammoth Lakes, and that's just minutes away at Yosemite National Park. And here's my bibliography. And all right, this concludes my research project on Bodie. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.